Okay, diminished chords. Now, as you probably know already, a diminished chord occurs when you've got a minor chord where the fifth has been also flatted and a dominant seventh has also been flatted. So right there you've got four notes. You've got three picks, so you may or may not be able to actually even play four notes, but you can certainly make a elude to that sound without any problem. So the main issue is at first to get at the very least the root, the minor third, and the flatted five, which is a half-diminished chord, and that's going to convey a lot of what you need. So in a sense, if you're talking about a diminished chord, it's almost like it's been sort of compressed, because you've got the minor interval for the third, and then normally you'd have a major interval between the third and the fifth, but that's been compressed too. So the sort of the distance between the root and the fifth is smaller. So it's a sort of a diminished size chord, if you like. The easiest way to, one of the easier ways to do it is to raise the E. If you're in a G position, and the typical feel where a diminished chord would be likely to be heard would be a situation we have a G chord, a G sharp diminished, an A minor chord, and then a D seventh chord, which is going to sound like a very classic kind of jazzy-ish progression, right? And all I did there to achieve the the G sharp diminished chord was raise the G note a half step with my F lever. So you've got G sharp, and still you have B and D, and that is a diminished, at least well on the way toward a diminished chord. And if everybody else is doing their job, it'll sound just fine. So again, that little passage, just for fun, because it is fun, that's an A minor chord that I'm doing with the information provided earlier, lowering the G in lowering the sixth string, the G sharp string, a whole step, and then splitting it by putting the B pedal down. So that gives you an A minor. And then you're going back to the D seventh that you would get by having the B pedal down and the E lower. You could play that forever and ever. I mean, it's the foundation for hundreds and hundreds of songs. Another version of the diminished, on the other principal shape, sort of form you're going to use, is the A and B pedals down. So what do you need? You need a minor. All right, we've already discussed the split available with a B vertical lever, which we're going to lower. Okay, so now what's left? We need to lower that E. Okay, well, how do we lower the E? Well, we lower it with an E lever. So it's a little slightly awkward, but you've got A and B down. You're pressing against the B lower vertical. In other words, your knee is going straight up, and in addition to going straight up, it's going a little to the right so that you can lower the E. Now in this case, if you want a G sharp and do the same progression that we did before, you're going to go up a fret, because that's the G sharp fret. And so you go. Here's a minor that you're doing, which is just lowering the E on the 13th fret. And then you go up to the G fret, and you still have your E lowered, and you engage the B pedal to make a D seventh. There you go. That's uses and creation of a diminished chord.